Hey guys, it's Christian from the Calcio Bros. I know it's been a while once again, but honestly, I have the stupidest schedule this semester with work and school, so it's just been really tough to find a good time to record everything where it's before and after Serie A. But today I will talk about the last three rounds and talk about some topics that I feel need to be discussed a little bit, in my opinion. I'm not sure if you guys feel the same, but it's just some thoughts I have about certain things from each round, about certain teams, players, and I guess what we saw in some sense. So we'll get to the first round that I have, and that is match day 5. So we have Sassuolo opening up the weekend against Empoli, where they beat them 3-1. Parma beating Cagliari 2-0. Gervinho scored a wonderful solo goal that game, reminiscent of that of George Weah. It was just incredible. He's really finding his form coming back to Serie A after spending so many years in China. It's good to see that Parma have now a player they can rely on, and they can use his help if they want to stay up and continue their run in Serie A, and if they want to continue staying in the top flight as well. We have Fiorentina Spal, the Viola winning 3-0 at home. They have a perfect record so far. And getting to that, actually, they still have another game afterwards we'll talk about, but you get it all perfect at home. A decision for Spal too was there. Kurtic was originally sent off. Terrible call by the referee in my opinion, because that really wasn't a sending off. But at least he used VAR to double check and clarify the decision, and he only gave him a yellow, and Kurtic remained on the field. Sampdoria Inter, with Inter winning 1-0 at the Marassi. And there was 3 goals actually waved off this game, all because of offside or any other, pretty much offsides, I believe. 3 goals waved away with VAR. Inter scoring first, I believe, late in the first half, got waved off. Maybe that was the foul. Don't recall, too long ago. Then they had another one disallowed in the second half, close to winning the game with Asamoah, where another player was offside. Then Sampdoria scored thinking they got the winner right after, and that was waved off, and that was correctly waved. And then Inter getting the winner late on. Torino hosting Napoli, and then they ended up losing 3-1. Lazio beating Genoa 4-1. Big result for them after their slow start. Chievo losing at home to Udinese, and remember Chievo is down -3 in the standings, so they have a bit of a handicap to worry about. Bologna beating Roma. Now this was a big one, which I'll get to soon and talk about a little bit this one, because this was a more interesting one. I felt that the first goal of the season, the first goals of the season were scored against Roma, and that's also Inzaghi's first win as coach of Bologna. So again, I'll get to that. Milan hosting Atalanta, tied 2-2 in the 91st minute. Atalanta ties the game up, and they just couldn't get a result that they needed, the Rossoneri. And again, more struggles for Gattuso's team. Last game of that weekend was Frosinone Juventus, and Frosinone just managing to stay together. They stayed so compact, but a few lucky bounces that goes Juve's way, and legit few bounces that helped break them out. They scored 2 late goals after breaking through, and the Bianconeri continued their run so far in the league and their dominance as well, and staying top of the table so far. And I have to give it to Frosinone for holding it off for almost 80 minutes. They held it for quite a bit. I'll give kudos to them. So we'll see, when they'll get their victory. So now, going back to what I said, the Bologna-Roma game, more on Roma rather than Bologna, because especially you're playing a team that has not won, has not scored. Roma should have taken full advantage of this, but they couldn't. They just struggled all game. Skorupski played well, saving everything against his former team. Maybe they shouldn't have let him go, really. But Santander scoring, and that really helped them break through. But Santander put the dagger through. But Mattiello's the one that opened the scoring for Bologna with actually a nice curler. But Roma really struggled. They didn't look good, and there was worries with Di Francesco there, if he even got his tactics right, if he got his formations right. There's questions again if he got his players right. He did start at 4 at the back, but later switched to a more, I guess, 3-4-3 maybe once putting on. It's hard to say. He tried putting on more. Kluivert getting his start there. With Xhaka and Perotti, but they couldn't do anything. And honestly, you're going against a team. Maybe they took him too lightly. They just couldn't create anything. And Bologna, I think, just played their game pretty much. What can you do if a team underestimates you? You might as well just play your game and just go for it. Why not? You have nothing to lose. They already are a team that couldn't score and couldn't win, so why not? But that really did put more pressure on Di Francesco, considering his latest results. He lost to Real Madrid earlier, and then he just couldn't results. They tied Kiev on the last minute. They lost to Milan. It was such a slow start for them, and everyone's worrying already. So more pressure on Di Francesco, and not the result Rome again needed in this game. Now we'll go on to match day 6. I'll list the results first. We had Inter Fiorentina open up this weekend. Inter taking the win 2-1. Now first off, Inter got a penalty from a cross. I didn't feel it was a penalty. Like, he crossed it in, and it's the player who crossed it in from Inter, I believe it was Kandreva. The ball was so close to the player, and his arm was in a natural position, so it's hard for him to move his hand in time for the ball to come in. Plus, the ball didn't even change direction when it came to it, so no one even knew it was a handball till the referee was notified to go to VAR, and he gave the penalty. But for me, that was not. It was unbelievable. It was, I can't say unbelievable because we've seen worse for sure, but to me it shouldn't have been a penalty just because of how close he was, the time, like how close, didn't change the direction of the ball. Like, it's these little things like that I felt wasn't a penalty. And we did see something earlier. I always go back to this, the Mattia De Sciglio handball when he was on Milan against Juve, where Juve got the penalty in like the 95th minute. Same thing, the distance, he was moving his hand away from the ball too to tuck it in, but what do you expect in such a close distance? No one has that much time to react. And then even after the game, Asamoah was accusing Chiesa of diving and cheating throughout the game. We're going to get to Chiesa a little bit later on. But the Nerazzurri still taking all 3 points and getting the result to get their run going, because this was an important victory for them, because after their slow start, they really needed this. Udinese loses at home 2-1 to Lazio. And Napoli beating Parma 3-0. An interesting thing in this game, was that Gervinho wasn't even playing for Parma. He wasn't even on the bench. So I'm not sure what D'Aversa was doing, because I was wondering why he wouldn't play one of his best players, unless it was maybe for any other. Or sorry, yeah, he didn't play at all. He was on the bench. Excuse me if I said he wasn't, but he was on the bench. He didn't play. So I wonder what D'Aversa was doing. Maybe he was giving him some rest. But you don't want to put on your best player when you actually need some goals or some. You go down 1-0 within the first 5 minutes, and then you go down right after the half starts. You need goals, so I don't know why, unless he was giving him a rest. Still, you would want to put on your best player. Juventus beating Bologna 2-0 at the Allianz Stadium. Bologna, even after getting the result against Roma, didn't play as great against Juve, so shame to see that. Genoa beating Chievo 2-0. Piatek continues his scoring run, scoring in every single game. We're going to get to him as well shortly. And then Cagliari tying Sampdoria 0-0. That's a big result for the Sardinians as well. Big result. Atalanta tying Torino 0-0 as well. Not the best result for Ladea, but Torino gets a good. They probably wanted this point, maybe, but still maybe not the best for both teams. Roma getting a big victory against Frosinone, and Frosinone still remained without a goal after 6 games. But Roma did get a very important victory. I felt they needed this against Frosinone, because if they had lost, Di Francesco most of likely would have been fired, considering they would have lost against a team who've lost almost every game, probably tied 1 or 2, I believe, but hadn't scored a goal at all. That would not have looked good for sure, but Di Francesco manages to get the victory that he needs to keep his job so far, and can get Roma back going, like getting them striving in the standings and maybe pushing them up. Spal Sassuolo taking a 2-0 victory late on in the game, and then The match day finishes off with Milan taking the lead early on in the first half with Biglia. But then late on, we have a player mistake from Romagnoli, gives the ball away in the box, then causes a penalty. Empoli tie it late on. And Terracciano playing really, really well in that game to keep Empoli in the game and not letting Milan getting their winning goal. So that was really important for them for sure. So now what I'm going to talk about from this round is going to be Milan's coach Gennaro Gattuso and how at risk he was after these last few games because his team can't hold the win. Cagliari, they couldn't break through after going down early. This game against Atalanta where they gave up a goal in the 91st minute, and now this one where he actually made the right subs, but he didn't make a sub until after Empoli scored. And it wasn't his fault, too, that Coutron and Higuain were both injured, and he was playing Borini in a striker role, which maybe shouldn't have happened, but what are you going to do? And, he actually got his tactics right. But, again, the late sub changes, this was mainly on the players. There's something there that Gattuso needs to do in order to reinsert themselves as the tactician we saw before that helped Milan qualify for Europa League, and perhaps giving them a bigger push, because this isn't what we expect from Gattuso after what he did last season. Maybe he's still trying to find the right pieces to go in this jigsaw, but it's very tough for him. Maybe because it's his lack of experience as a top flight coach, and I feel he's still the right coach for Milan. I still feel it. Right now, I don't see anyone else that's more appropriate for the role. And I do feel confident that he can push through and get the results needed. But the season is still very long, and we're only 7 match days in for sure. So there is plenty of time for a turnaround. And especially with new players, he's trying to figure out where to put each player, who to give rest to, and all that. It's very tough. What are you gonna do about that? But I do feel he should stay on, and we'll go talk about what happens to next round because it is an important game for them too, right? Now for match day 7. A lot of interesting games here too, a lot of good results. First off, Roma-Lazio, the Derby della Capitale here. The Giallorossi gets another important victory, 3-1. Pellegrini scored Roma's third back heel goal of the season. Pastore having the first against Atalanta, then Pastore again against Frosinone, and then here Pellegrini. And then Lazio almost finds a way back, but after the goal, they just couldn't get themselves to get going. Kolarov scoring a nice free kick, but Strakoschka at blame there for setting up his wall poorly, and then Fazio making up for his mistake early on, and Pellegrini actually stepping it up for once. I didn't rate him too well, but at least he's stepping up in these last few games. Maybe he can turn some heads for sure. We got one of the biggest games too of the season, which was Juventus-Napoli. Juve winning 3-1 after Napoli went up at home early after a Bonucci giveaway in the first half, and Napoli just somewhat shut off. Mandzukic scoring twice, and as well as Bonucci getting on the score sheet, so he made up. Ronaldo getting 2 assists here. Maybe didn't score, but he has now 3 goals and 4 assists. So Ronaldo's still trying to find his form, but still not his best, one of his better games, but he's improving for sure. But Napoli, I feel, should have done better. Maybe if Juve scored first, Napoli would have been turned on the whole game and actually just driving. But because after that first Juve goal, it was all the Bianconeri. The Partenope barely did anything. They didn't really become really threatening. We go on then after Inter Cagliari, Inter winning 2-0. Cagliari getting a goal to still out as well because of VAR. Bologna Udinese, Bologna winning 2-1, so Inzaghi gets his team back on a winning run. Frosinone Genoa, Frosinone scored their first goal but still lose to Genoa 2-1, where Piatek gets a brace. And oh my god, this kid is on fire. I will also talk about him shortly soon, so just hold on. Fiorentina Atalanta finishes 2-0. Some controversy in this game. And again, right after I finish talking about all the results, I'm going to get to all these incidents that happened, and I'm going to let you hear my thoughts and see if you agree about them as well. Chievo Torino finishes 1-0 for the visitors, with Zaza getting his first goal for La Granata. Let's see if it'll be the first of many to come. It's been his first goal in Serie A in almost 2 years since he last left Italy. Parma Empoli finishes 1-0. Gervinho scoring once again. Like I said before, he's finding his footing back in Italy with Parma. This is a good fit for him for sure, and I feel he will be the important player in helping Parma stay up in the top flight. Sassuolo Milan finishes 4-1, a big result for Gattuso's men, and this is exactly what they needed. They played another game without strikers. Higuain was still injured. Cutrone came back from injury and didn't want to be risked, so they started Castillejo as a false nine. Barini actually was injured as well, so he didn't play. It really helped. Kessie scored a solo run, and again, almost reminded me of George Weah's. Everyone loves scoring either back heels or solo runs, so is that going to be the type of goals this year that's going to be the most popular? Honestly, we'll find out. Castillejo also scores his first goal for Milan as well in the second half. Suso finding his footing again, scoring twice in this game. But unfortunately, Milan still can't keep a clean sheet. They conceded late on, but I feel the goal should have been disallowed for a Boateng foul on Romagnoli in the box. But now that's 12 consecutive games where Milan concede in Serie A. And then the last game was Sampdoria Spal finishing 2-1 for the home team. And that is another big result for them. And again, teams like Spal, Sassuolo, maybe we'll start to see them play at their usual selves. Maybe play better than normal, but maybe they won't be like top or like where they actually are right now. Because I feel that this is where we're going to start dropping down a little bit. But they did have a good run so far. And let's see how well they can play in the next few games, if they can, maintain a good run or start to slip off a little bit as well. So now, going on to the incidents here, guys. First off would be the Juventus-Napoli game. So Mario Rui gets sent off for a second yellow. I don't know, I'm a little iffy with the second yellow. Maybe because he was already on a yellow, that's why he was booked. But to me, it wasn't necessarily. It was probably a foul, but maybe not a yellow card foul, a bookable offense, I guess. But he still got his second yellow and got his marching orders. But so one of the bigger incidents here, guys, was between Bonucci and Allan. So Bonucci, there was the foul that happened after the Marui sending off, perhaps. But maybe Allan said something to Bonucci. I think he shoved him a little bit. But Bonucci goes and headbutts. Maybe not a full-on, brutal headbutt, but he still did the motion of headbutting, still touched Allan's head. Yeah, Allan made a meal of it still. But no matter what, whoever does a headbutting motion is always sent off. And look, he only got booked. He only got a yellow for that. Him and Insigne, I think Insigne may have complained, but I'm not too sure about that. But still, Bonucci got booked, and then he went on to score the third goal. So for me, he should have been sent off. I don't know why VAR only decided to give him a yellow rather than a red, but he should have been sent off. Again, even if Allan made a meal of it, doesn't matter. Bonucci did that headbutting motion. He should have been gone. He should have seen his marching orders, and he should have and it should have been more of an even game. Excuse me for all this stuttering. I guess I have so much to say, too fast, But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think as well on that Bonucci case? Because I feel he should have been sent off. Let me know if you guys agree on that, or the ref made the right call in booking him. It's up to you guys, and let me know. So the second one here, the topic I'm going to talk about is Federico Chiesa. So like I said about Matchday 6, Asamoah accused him of cheating, diving all over the place, and here's where we got a true sense of what happened, where he was sent on a run and then he just made a meal of it. Toloi taking him down, not even, barely touching him at all, and then Chiesa just doing his best belly flop there, and it's just a disgrace. It's embarrassment to the game. He shouldn't be doing that, and I'm surprised VAR kept the call that the ref made about the penalty. They did not overturn it, and then that just completely ruined, I think, Atalanta's mindset. Atalanta played so well. I feel they deserve something out of it. Fiorentina did get the winner after they secured their win with Biragi's free kick, but still, Atalanta deserves something. I know this is football, but still, there's no place for that in our game. I wonder if someone will actually take a look at it and feel maybe that Chiesa should be suspended because of these dives. I doubt it, but maybe VAR can take a better look at this and determine, he dived. It's not a penalty. Let's overturn it. But I don't know where this decision was to keep the penalty. This was just an embarrassment. Let's hope that next weekend VAR and the referees do a much better job in addressing these issues, and perhaps calling the right thing and making sure the game isn't changed because of this. Now, for the last thing I want to discuss before I talk about the fixtures for a next round, or the standings, then the fixtures. Too many things once again, guys. So now we're going to talk about Christoph Piatek, who's off to the best start in Serie A in 69 years. This is his debut season. The 23-year-old is just ripping Serie A to shreds. He's scoring every game. This is unbelievable. He has 8 goals in 6 games. And the last player to do this was back in the 1949-1950 season. It's just incredible. He has 12 goals in all competitions, with his first 4 goals coming in a single Coppa Italia game against Lecce, and then he's just been scoring every single game since. It's unbelievable. No one expected this. They only bought him for $6.4 million back in June. I'm not sure what the euro rate is, but still, they bought him from Cracovia. 4 million euros, actually. Just saw it here. Yeah, so I don't think anyone expected this from him. It's unbelievable. But now, let's see how long Genoa can hold on to him, because I doubt if he continues a scoring run, he's definitely going to be gone either by January or at the end of the year. And considering now his value's increased to about 54 mil, oh my god, I don't think anyone ever saw this coming. And I wonder if he'll honestly become the next Lewandowski for the way he's scoring and the way he's going about his way. Great player indeed to watch out for, and especially with the season still early on, lots of games to play. I really want to see how many goals he will score, especially if he's already the first player to get double digits in all competitions. Man, we have lots to see from this kid. So now after 7 rounds, I feel there's enough here for standings, I guess. Juve top of the league, winning every single game so far. They are 7 for 7, perfect start for them. And as we see, Napoli behind them. Fiorentina, Inter as well there. Fiorentina has won every game so far at home, so that is a big result for them. And we'll see if they can continue that up. Inter picking up their results. And then, that's good. And Spalletti's starting to find his formation with his players. And that's, I don't know, what they want to see, what you Inter fans want to see. You know me, I'm Milanista, so I'm just waiting for Milan to get past them and show which team is the better Milan side here. And we go dropping down a little bit. Roma still struggling with a 3-2 record right now, but with these last couple wins have helped them, reinvigorate themselves into a better position, giving Di Francesco a bit of assurance. Milan just sitting outside top 10, but again, they have 1 game in hand, and if they win that against Genoa, they will move up. Just actually tied points with them too, but depends how that game goes. That will be played on Halloween, I believe it is, so keep an eye for that game. Should be coming up, and should be a very interesting game for sure. We have Bologna and Atalanta. Oh, Bologna there. Udinese is near the bottom, but Atalanta too, a 1-3-3 after starting off so well. They have 3 losses and 2 draws in their last 5 games, and that's not the Atalanta we've been seeing in the last little while. Perhaps maybe it's the early start. Again, we saw that a bit with Milan last year, but I think the early start's getting to them, selling a couple of their players as well. Not the way they would have liked, because again, they want to go back into the Europa League, and honestly, it just looks like our predictions could be wrong. Predicted them to go close to the Europa League, but it doesn't seem like it. So they really need to pick it up. In the bottom 3, we have Empoli, Frosinone, and Chievo. Chievo, again, because of the 3-point deduction, they're right now sitting at -1 points with an 0-2-5 record, and then Frosinone with 0-1-6. And Frosinone only scoring 1 goal so far, and that's not how you can win games either, just by not scoring. So I do feel, though, Chievo and Frosinone will be two of the teams relegated. That's my opinion. I know it's still very early, but if they continue this by not getting any results that they need, it's not going to help their cause. It's still early to see who will be the third team, because Empoli is only a point under Cagliari and Atalanta, so anything can happen. But again, it's still early to see. Let me know what you guys think of, being relegated, and how well if you think Juve will continue their perfect run. Well, no team really wins all 38 games, so we will definitely see something change. But how long do you think their perfect run can start? We did see Roma's a few years back, 10 consecutive wins at the beginning of the season, and they couldn't even win the title. And I don't think, I feel Juve will get a draw soon, not sure when, but honestly for me, it's still early to say if they've won it. Anything can happen too. Like I said, even speaking of that Roma, they should have won it that year, but I guess Rudy Garcia really messed up over there. But they could. They are favorites for sure after signing Ronaldo. But I don't want to say that they've won the Serie A already. It's definitely too early to say that. Even like I'm saying with the relegation, I don't think so. So going on to the next round before international break, match day 8, we will have one game on the Friday, Torino Frosinone, and then on the Saturday, 3 games, Cagliari Bologna, Udinese Juventus, and Empoli Roma. Then on Sunday, Genoa Parma, Milan Chievo, Atalanta Sampdoria, Lazio Fiorentina, Napoli Sassuolo, and Spal Inter. So I'd say 3 big games perhaps. Atalanta Sampdoria for sure is going to be an entertaining game. Let's see if Atalanta can, get back on track. It won't be easy against a team like Sampdoria for sure. Their players are playing so well. De Frel, Caprari, Quagliarella. They're playing really well right now. And then Lazio Fiorentina for sure. Lazio have been on 4 consecutive wins now, with Fiorentina too, with one of the youngest teams in Europe playing well. I'm just hoping I don't see another Chiesa swimming contest here. I don't want to see that, but I will be ready to watch that game. It's going to be a good one, I really feel. And then Napoli Sassuolo again. Napoli wanting to get back after their setback against Juve. Want to keep on track just behind the Bianconeri, while Sassuolo too want to get a good result after losing at home to Milan. They had such a good run with especially Kevin Prince Boateng and like Locatelli leading the way. There's a lot of good players there, and they honestly may give Napoli some trouble too. But honestly, I'm just waiting for that to happen. Like these games are going to be really interesting, and I just can't wait for the next round to come on. So that is all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed my little ranting there for a bit. Let me know if you guys have the same thoughts as well. Let me know about your incidents, who you feel, or what you feel about like the Bonucci incident, Chiesa, what you guys feel about Piatek, maybe Roma or Gattuso's teams, what happens with them, what else you guys are looking forward to in Serie A. Let me know. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_Bros, and subscribe on YouTube for more Calcio content. We'll hear from you guys soon. Ciao.